today. Is my mic on? You can hear me now? All right. What a great day. I love child dedication, family dedication. Love being with you guys. And now we're starting off a new series. So it's like trifecta. It's a great Sunday. And we're glad that you are here. If you're newer with us today, you came on a great day because we're starting a brand new series today called Beyond Blessed. And I'm going to take the next couple weeks and help us understand when you are in part of the kingdom of God, you are a blessed people. And we have to understand that, embrace that, believe that, and walk in that. And a lot of times, I'm going to tell you that I've been reading, studying a book called Beyond Blessed, and it's from a pastor and author, Pastor Robert Morris. He actually wrote a book, I don't know, almost 20 years ago called The Blessed Life. We've taught through that, and that was all on generosity and generosity and generosity. And I know you guys are generous. 2 weeks ago, you guys across all of our locations gave $21,000, a little bit more than that actually, to help feed kids all around the world in a one Sunday offering. So I know you guys have generosity, yeah. Like, I know that, but even when we go and maybe take like a special offering like that, there's still people that can come up and go, Pastor, like I gave, but man, I'm still in debt and I'm still stressed out and this is hard. And what we need to understand is giving is one part of God's blessing, but there is more. There is more to living a blessed life and living beyond blessed. And we want to talk about that because it's just be like grooming. Like if you're supposed to groom yourself, you wash your hair and I tell my kids, did you use soap in the shower? And I spend 30, 40 minutes on my hair making sure it looks good, and you brush your teeth and you got everything down. Like that's like proper grooming. But if all you did was take a comb and just put through your hair one time and then go, I don't understand, I still stink. It's because all we did was comb our hair and we didn't fully groom ourselves. And a lot of times we're like, I don't know, where's God's blessing? I gave him the offering last week. I did what I thought I was supposed to do. Like where's the blessing? And we need to understand that it's beyond just giving. And there's other areas of life that if we don't fully understand, then all we're going to do is brush our hair and still stink. And we need more out of that. And so there's another important component to that blessed life, which is this word called stewardship. Now, before you even fast forward your thoughts, if you've grown up in church a little bit, sometimes the word stewardship means that just means big fundraiser to build a building. Like that, I've heard that before. Like, a stewardship campaign, which really just means, hey, we're going to do like some kind of a really big project. But unfortunately, that's not what stewardship means. Like we have made that a negative connotation. The word stewardship in itself, stewardship is this: taking care of what you have. And we are called to just take care of what we have. And think about this, as Christians, knowing that God is the source of all the resources and blessings that we have, good stewardship is just taking care of what God has given us. And that we want to understand that because God does not want you stressed with what he's given you. So if he's the source of everything, so our money is a source, God is the source of that, and it's stressing us out. God is like, that was never intended to stress you out. I want you to be a blessed people, not a stressed people. So today we're going to talk about living beyond blessed, and really almost a little bit of an overview of like gearing us up, and we'll get deeper in the weeds over the next couple weeks. But there's three things that are really handles today. I'm like, I got to talk about these three things today. And I want you to grab a hold of these. And number one, if you're taking notes, you would write this down. If you're not taking notes, still write this down. That's right. It takes two legs. See, if you're walking through life, you want to walk through life with two legs. It's very hard to hop through life, and you want to be able to use both legs. And having this blessed life, now remember, I didn't say blessed wallet. I said blessed life. And to have a blessed life, God wants you to walk through life the way he's intended us to, so he can go, man, I want to bless my kids. In these two legs, you're going to see there is a part of it that is the generosity, the open hand, giving to the needy and helping people and being a resource to others, the generosity. But the other leg, which oftentimes is what messes us up, is the stewardship, taking care of what we have. It takes both. You can't just walk on one leg. If you walk on one leg, it would be like this. You're generous, but not a good steward. Now, this is the guy that's like, I'll give the shirt off my own back, which is incredible, but he has no more shirts in the closet. And so he doesn't have a shirt on, and if somebody else comes alongside that needs a shirt, he has no more shirts to give away. And so generosity is great, but if there's not good stewardship, then you don't have to continue to help others. And so that's like me being the youth pastor long ago, and we go to a retreat with kids, and they'd give an offering to missions, and these kids would give everything, and then guess who buys their lunch on the way home? Because they didn't save their $5 from McDonald's, you know? And so it's like they just gave it all away. And then they looked around and were like, hey, we got to eat lunch. And they're like, I got nothing left. And so, but the other one would be this: if you flip it around, you're a good steward, but not generous. We just call that being tight. You know, you're just, you don't let a lot of things through. You're not helping others. You keep a lot of things back. You're one who doesn't. And I'm not just talking generous at church. I'm just talking you don't treat yourself too much. You don't treat the family too much. You just keep it, and you keep it. But if we, as the church, as God's kingdom, if we release the resources that God has given us to people in need around us, if we don't release the resources, you know what God does? He finds someone else who will release the resources. And so he's looking for people to be a river, not a reservoir. A river is, it comes in and it flows out, it continues to flow, and God blesses and it flows into others. A reservoir is, it comes in and it just stays. And water that just sits there for a while, like a pond, there's pond scum on top. And God's like, I want a river of resources flowing through his church to help others. And when there is good flow, he just cranks up the valve and says, how about more? How about more? Because as you get, you are passing it along. We look at this and we think in Genesis, the very first family, you got Adam and Eve, and the kind of the beginning of us as humanity. And take a look at this in Genesis chapter 1. It says, then God blessed them. God blessed Adam and Eve. He blessed this first family. And he said, you guys go be fruitful and multiply. Go and you're going to have all this. Fill the earth. And he goes, and govern it. Manage it. Take care of it. Reign over all the resources that I've given you, all of the fish in the sea, the birds in the sky, and all the animals that scurry along the ground. He's like, I'm going to bless you with all of this. The produce, the fruit, the trees, the animals, everything. I'm going to bless you with all of this. Now just make sure to govern it, manage it, take care of it. Be a good steward of the blessing. And so you see that it began that way. It needs to continue that way. That we have two legs. Generosity, giving, awesome. But the other leg, stewardship, taking care of it, understanding God has given us so much. Are we managing? It's like that old cartoon. I don't know, it's a really old cartoon where it's kind of like that chase game and the enemy of somebody shows up and they were chasing each other, and he takes the big hammer and he nails his foot to the ground, and he's trying to get away, and he just keeps running like this. He's just running and running and running because he's just spinning because one foot is nailed to the ground. And so if all we do is live a life of generosity, but we don't manage what we have, we're just spinning and we're not walking through that blessed life. If we are really good with managing our money, but there's no generosity in us at all, we're just spinning and spinning and spinning, and we're not getting anywhere in God's kingdom. And he's saying, listen, we have to have both. God's like, I want to bless you, but you got to bless others. You got to manage it. You got to take care of your stuff. It reminds me of a good friend we have here at church, and man, just such a great friend that I've watched their lives, and they farm, manage money well, invest, work hard. The agricultural mindset understands of plowing the ground, working the ground, planting seed, the watering, the de-weeding, all of the stuff that's necessary, the joy of the harvest, seeing the bountiful harvest, managing, taking care of everything. Well, this family that's a farm family, they were a good financial family too, had some money in savings. An opportunity to buy a small little piece of property along a lake came up, and they bought a little bit of a lake property. They had a small little house on that, and they wanted to build memories and have something fun to do on weekends and kind of a little bit of a getaway. And they spent, several years we were able to go, family, friends were able to go, and they had this little piece of lake property that they purchased that was good. And well, what happened was the market shifted a little bit, and the property went up. Somebody came along and said, "Hey, we'll buy that from you," and it was at a much higher cost than they bought, and it was just brilliant. You buy it, you use it, and you sell it for more than you bought it for. That's just good business. And so that's what they did. They bought it, they used it, and then they sold it for more than they bought it for. And then they take that profit, and they took a chunk of that profit and said, we want to give it back into God's kingdom. And so whatever kind of money they made on that sale, they said, and we want to make sure that God can use some of this because he's blessed us with it. And that's kind of the way they operated. And then a couple years later, we were in the middle of a project to build a building, this building right here that we're in. And then all of a sudden there's a financial commitment to say, hey, let's be a part of this project. And as soon as they made that financial commitment to build this building, the next thing you know, they acquired more farmland.